That's too funny, man. That was a good show. That was a good show. We probably rambled too much, but to hell with it.
Happens.
It's Sunday, November 29th, 2020. Episode 030. If you're keeping score, you are about to go down the rabbit hole with Joe and Brian. I'm Brian. With me, as always, is my good friend Joe. Joe, how you doing this Sunday afternoon?
I'm well, and yourself?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I can't complain.
Yeah, it feels a little different right now.
Yeah, it does feel. It feels. It is. There's a weird vibe. I know what you're saying. I don't know if it's coming through on the mics or not, but yeah, it's just one of those lazy Sunday afternoons, and just got to get my head straight.
Get your head right.
Get my head right, man. Get my head right. But yeah, you know what? Before we get into all that,
motherfucker, give me 2 fingers of Southern Comfort.
What did the bartender bring you today, Joe?
Bartender brought me a Pepsi with rum, but this is a different rum than I normally have. This one's it's called Fire in the Hole, and yeah, it's from the Bahamas. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is it like anything? Is it like fire? Is it like a fire? Is it like a cinnamon flavor or something to it, or?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I mean, it probably isn't the greatest name for it because you're right. People assume fire, they think cinnamon or that with like fireball stuff. But I mean, it's a very good tasting rum. Got yeah.
That's cool. Maybe I'll keep an eye out for it.
You should.
I am not drinking today,
Shocking.
but I do have. I bought some Private Select, so.
Oh crap!
I have it over there. I just not feeling it today.
What made you get the Private Select?
We were talking about it,
right,
and it's been several years actually since I've had it. So.
Was the last time you had it with me?
It's quite possible.
Wow.
It's quite possible. It's been a while.
Now,
I haven't had rum in a long time. Period.
Yeah, I am so glad that I was able to reunite you with Private. Yeah.
I promise everyone. I will partake of the rum on this coming Thursday show.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you, my stomach has been ever since Thanksgiving, which I want to talk about, but ever since Thanksgiving, my stomach has not been 100%, and so yeah, I'm just I'm being nice to it.
Did you eat something funky
this weekend? I don't know. I did eat something funky, I think, but I don't think that it was. I don't know if it was necessarily the direct cause of my stomach issues or not. But
what do you think the thing you ate that was funky was?
It was just, and I hate to say this because my mom is just not on top of things as she was, and I don't want to go into all the particulars, but she just I'm pretty sure that the turkey this year was not cooked entirely like it should have been, and I think as sad as it makes me, I think me and Keith, my brother, are going to have to start stepping in, and taking over these duties because undercooked fowl is
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
generally not
yeah.
it's not a
Undercooked
good
fowl
idea.
is
So
foul.
yeah, well, I like the wordplay. Yes. So, but I don't know. I didn't really eat very much of it. I knew after the first bite that uh, it wasn't right. So I didn't. It's not like I ate a bunch of it. I ate enough to realize that something was up. And but I don't know. Regardless, my stomach has been kind of wonky. So whatever caused it, I'm taking it easy.
All right, well, hey, yeah, I mean, yeah, whenever be like, yeah, you should be drinking heavily, even if your stomach is no, I'm not that guy. At least
Well,
not today.
that maybe who knows, maybe that would get me cleaned out. On the other hand, I don't know.
Alcohol does have miraculous medicinal applications, and so I'm just putting it out there.
We'll
I
see,
mean,
but
I'd
not right
hate for you
now.
to be suffering in silence.
So, how about you? How was you? Did you have a good
Yeah,
Thanksgiving?
my Thanksgiving was good. Yeah,
Just you and the girlfriend?
yeah. Me and the girlfriend, we had a actually no, me and the girlfriend and her brother,
Okay,
and we had the best turkey I've ever had in my life.
really?
Yeah, I mean, it was only a 12-pound turkey, and we went out and got this stuff that you can infuse the turkey with,
Yeah.
and so we used that. It was like a Cajun sauce or Cajun liquid that you shoot into the bird. But I mean, when I tasted that stuff, I was like, ugh, I don't know. Because it was new, and so I ended up shooting up the turkey with basically just sticks of butter. Like
Yeah,
butter does amazing things to almost anything you put it on.
yeah. I've sort of like people. Is what you did? Just put it under the skin?
No, I got one of those injectors, and
Oh, and you actually injected butter into the meat of it. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so I
You know
mean,
what? I'll be honest with you. Turkey was really a horrible choice for a holiday dinner because it's not that great
oh well,
of
no,
a meat.
yeah, and so and hence my lifelong quest to find ways to make Thanksgiving delicious.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
if anything, nothing. Chicken is perfectly fine, I think, but we don't. No one seems to do it.
well, yeah, I mean, can you imagine? Yeah, we're celebrating Thanksgiving and turkeys on the menu. I mean, it must have been that very first Thanksgiving must have been hard.
Yeah, because turkey's just not. It's just not that good of a
Yeah,
meat. I don't think.
I mean, it's probably cool if like hey, if you're like starving in Massachusetts in November, and it's either like shoot the turkey or starve. It's easy then.
Fair
but,
enough.
uh,
Fair enough.
but
Well,
given less dire circumstances, it's probably not the first, second, or third protein you choose for a major holiday.
I wish we had a holiday that. And there's nothing. There's nothing stopping us. But I wish there was like a holiday where the main feast was. It was generally accepted to be like a just big fat uh, T-bone or a strip steak or something.
Yeah, I do that for Christmas.
Really? Yeah. Well, Christmas we're going to be doing ham, I think.
Yeah, a few years ago, I think we did steak for Thanksgiving one day. Yeah,
There's literally no reason not to, other than I guess tradition, right?
well, yeah, I mean, and if you think about it, like a turkey
Which
takes,
is a dumb reason. Which is a dumb reason to
yeah,
when you could like really enjoy yourself, but you're forcing yourself to only moderately enjoy yourself. It's kind of dumb.
uh, yeah, or if you find out ways to make it really taste really good.
Like add butter.
Yeah, yeah, like right hand of God. If I am lying, you know, yeah,
Dude, I know. First of all, I know you. I know how you and butter are. You've got a unhealthy relationship.
I can shop anytime I want to, man.
Sure you can. Sure you can. Come on, man. Come on, just give me a pat of butter. Come on. Just a pat.
Butter's good stuff.
So,
I even have my own little butter maker.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I was going to say, have you tried the Kerry Gold butter? That's what I get now.
I've not had that. I am familiar with it. And my understanding is that they have a higher percentage of fat in that butter, which makes it taste extra good.
Well, that's their shtick. I think is just how natural it is.
Yeah, but
So,
but if you've ever made real butter, if you ever made real butter, you never want to buy non-real. Like when I first started eating real butter, I stopped buying margarine altogether.
yeah, for sure, man.
It's like buying it's like terrible stuff.
Well, we can talk about that more offline. I'm interested to hear the process, but we shall move on.
Shall we?
Yes, we shall. I suppose I should thank all the YouTube subscribers, however many there are. They kind of disappointed me. But
I'm pretty sure that the algorithm isn't reading the numbers correctly. It probably says 12, but it probably really means 12 million.
right, yeah.
I just got a feeling.
That must have been the same algorithm they used in those voting machines. Bada bing!
Wow.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself.
He shoots and he scores.
Like, subscribe, share. You know the routine, people. I don't know what else I gotta say to you to make you do it, but just doesn't cost anything. Just do it. Try to get these numbers up.
We were supposed to start using threats and intimidation, but I'm not very good at being threatening or intimidating.
Yeah, so I don't know what else we could do. Offer money?
Nah. If we're gonna do that, we can go out and buy subscribers. Literally, go and find someone and pay them money. But
you know what? I would buy a $20 gift card to Amazon and raffle it off to the subscribers if that would get subscribers.
Well, it sounds like a crazy enough idea that just might work. We'll have to talk about that offline some and figure out what that will look like.
Yeah.
And then I have to figure out how I can win.
Sorry, but employees of the Down the Rabbit Hole podcast and their family are not eligible to participate.
Is that blood family only?
No, I got a feeling that I'm going to have to that you're looking to abuse this, and so I'm going to have to write the rules in such a way that it really kind of you're going to feel like it's singling you out, and you'd be right.
Yeah, nobody named or related to Joe High,
right?
In any way, shape, or form.
If you know him, I'm sorry, you can't. You're not eligible.
Yeah, I don't like all this anti-Joe hysteria going on.
That's funny. All right, my man. So last night was the Mike Tyson fight. We talked about. We mentioned it several episodes back. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr.
Quick question: does anyone get bit?
There was no biting.
Was it a knockout?
There was no knockout, and it's interesting that you say that. Here are the stipulations for the fight. I mean, these are like the rules of the fight and then there was no cuts, and cuts result from headbutts.
All right.
So there was if they seen any cuts, they were going to stop the fight. There was to be no knockouts, although I think they just had to say that maybe for legal reasons, because when you have two ex-champions in a ring, and they're grown men with egos. They're looking to knock the other one out. I don't care, even if it is an exhibition fight.
So were they getting paid for this?
Yeah, I think they were getting paid. Although I seen some talk about how I don't know if their paydays were going to charity or partial parts of it were going to charity. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's how you know I'm a bad person because if I'm going to get in a ring, get my, you know, get my brains beat in, I'm not trying to give any part of that to charity.
Yeah.
I'm the charity then. It's the Joe Brain Fund. 'Cause-
After a Mike Tyson fight, your internal organs need charity
yeah,
because man, his body punches were vicious. Anyway, I took some notes. I took some notes overall. This was not like wasn't sanctioned by like real governing bodies of boxing. This is
so,
kind of a
so how did it come to be? They're like, hey, you know what? It'd be a good idea. We got somebody fool enough to step in a ring with Mike Tyson.
well. Actually, I think a long time ago, Roy Jones Jr. challenged. He wanted to fight Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson turned him down. That was I think around the time where he just kind of like really had a mental breakdown and I think he at that time thought he was just done with boxing, so he declined it. And so I don't know what happened between then and now, but you know he's
Probably like, oh,
obviously not.
crap, I need to pay these taxes or I'm going to jail.
Maybe he tried everything. He tried to talk very philanthropically about things, trying to do humanitarian stuff. I don't know. He never elaborated, but I don't know I don't know, but apparently he's in a better headspace now and decided to take Roy Jones up on that offer, and so that's how it came to be. I didn't take time to look it up, but I think it's been 15 years since Mike Tyson fought. It had been about 4 years since Roy Jones Jr. fought. I think there's about a 4-year difference between the two, 4 or 5 year difference between the two. Tyson is older. But anyway, but I just want to talk about the overall production. Keep in mind, this is taking place during the whole COVID panic, so there's no audience. So everything that took place was just some announcers and camera people, and that's it. There's no audience.
Huh. Like
And so
much of watching a fight is the ambiance and the energy around the fight.
yeah, it made this entire thing weird. And even what was even weirder than watching a fight with no audience was their entertainment that they had was so-called rappers, hip hop artists of today, I suppose. But imagine some hip hop artist, and this has got to be another. I don't know where I want to talk about this at, but rap today is just pathetic compared to what it was. But that's beside the point. Imagine a rapper
that's
in a
old
room,
man
basically.
talk.
Say again.
Yeah, that's old man talk. Back in my day,
I try to think of it as I realize that every generation has its issues with the current generation's music, but no, I listened to the music. I'm not that guy. I'm pretty sure.
until
But I can listen to the music. I can listen to the lyrics, and there's just no talent there. I'm sorry. At least the people that were performing, with one exception, the people performing at the last night were just pathetic. And I can't. If these people get paid to be rap artists, it's sad. But that's beside the point. Imagine some some rapper just basically dancing around an empty room by himself, singing at the camera. It was just weird. but
I'm
it
telling
is
you,
what it
like,
is.
it's not too late for us to start that start that rap career. I mean, we were talking about this last week about the rap album
Yeah,
we almost did.
the
I
rap
mean,
album. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I can find some of our. I think we had a track list
yeah.
created. We didn't have any songs wrote, but we knew what the tracks were going to be.
So
But anyway, the cool thing about I will say this: the cool thing for the undercard was pretty good. They had three undercard fights that were good, fun to watch. For the last two fights, they had Snoop Dogg came in, and I will say this: Snoop Dogg should just announce everything.
what do you mean?
He's hilarious to listen to. He just needs to be the announcer for everything.
Let's get ready to. I mean, and so instead of let's get ready to rumble, he said,
No. He was a commentator. He was a commentator.
"Oh,
You know,
oh,
that was the cool thing. They did get Michael Buffer to do the introductions, which I was surprised at.
there's a standard guy that does that."
You just quoted him. Everyone knows the voice, right?
Oh yeah. I
That's
just,
what that's that.
like the standard movie guy. Like I think the name was Don Fontaine. In a world where blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought like everybody said, hey, let's get ready to rumble, blah 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 blah. I just thought,
Well, but there's only one original guy, and
oh
I think it's Michael Buffer.
yeah,
So
I just
they
learned
had
something
him.
new.
But anyway, the fight was good. They didn't keep. They said they didn't keep score. Although they said they had three ex boxing champions kind of doing an unofficial scorecard, and they wussed out and called it a draw. But
Who did Brian?
everyone watching. Hmm?
Who did Brian think won?
Mike Tyson won. Even Roy Jones Jr. thinks Mike Tyson won. Everyone does.
Oh,
These judges just wussed out.
hmm.
Trying to be all diplomatic. Everybody wins.
Why would you want to be?
Mike Tyson won.
Why would you want to be diplomatic like that when the world saw the fight?
You'd have to ask them. But Mike Tyson won. He definitely looks. He's 51, I think, and he looks it. He definitely he's in shape for sure. But when he got in the ring and took his the towel off, he just kind of both of them actually they both looked their age. Although Mike Tyson was in really really good shape, and Roy Jones he was in shape, but not as much as Tyson was. But probably the coolest thing about it though was that, and I don't know if how big of a fan you are of like when Mike Tyson was actually fighting, but he came into the ring wearing his black shoes with no socks and black shorts. That was a big Mike Tyson. That was a big Mike Tyson thing. That's all he ever wore into the ring was black shoes with no socks and black trunks, and he'd wear like a towel draped across his shoulders, and that's all he ever came to the ring in. So he did that, which was pretty. That was the nostalgia. That was really nostalgic. So that was very cool.
I mean, let's see here. So these guys are both fighting in the '80s.
What would it? Yeah, I guess it'd have been late '80s and then the '90s. Roy Jones, I think, came after. I mean, I think they both fought maybe at the same time, but I think they were really kind of different generations of boxers.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking about it, like I'm not very. I mean, the fact that they're both in somewhat I guess fighting shape, I guess is good. But could you imagine like?
They said Mike Tyson lost 100 pounds.
Wow.
So he must have been a lot bigger than I ever thought, because he didn't. He still looked big. And they said he'd lost 100 pounds. So, yeah.
Yeah, if I lost 100 pounds, I would not look big.
Yeah. but he was, it was fun. It was fun to watch. And yeah, you could tell even if it was an exhibition, um, they were both out for blood, so to speak. That was my biggest fear was that um, every time they would grab each other, I was like, don't, because tops two bald heads can
Pow.
split. You hit it good, and there's going to be a cut. And I was like, oh, I would have been, the internet would have been livid if they'd have called the fight because of something like that. But it didn't happen. Um, they were all, while they were fighting, they were definitely in it to win it. But um, even after the fight, it was almost like Roy Jones just paid homage to Mike Tyson and
No, please don't hurt me, Big
what he
Mike.
was.
Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, this idiot announcer kept trying to get them both to commit to another fight, and Jones, you could just physically tell that he did not want to do it again. But anyway, I don't think they need to do it again. This was a fun match, but
Yeah, but
let's not ruin it.
I was thinking to myself, if I were a boxer and I found myself at 51 years old, or what, what, or 47 years old, boxing again, I would think that I made some serious mistakes in life.
That's quite possible.
Yeah, it'd be like if you looked up and Michael Jordan was lacing up again. Wait a second.
Right.
It'd be Ish must have gone, spectacularly, south to for that to occur.
Well, and you that is one perspective, and it's that you could look at it. There's one way you could look at it, but um, another would be that both of these in their heyday were considered the best, the pinnacle of the sport, and I think that it could be nothing more than ego, wanting to get a taste of the glory days again, and it might be nothing more than that.
That's a much more charitable way of looking at it. Thank you, because yeah,
Sure.
I could almost feel a tear welling up in my eye of two old men fighting. Well, not that bad. I mean, come on.
Well, also there's one other thing here that I threw these in the notes late, but I watched the Formula One race today,
So,
and even though the championship is wrapped up, there's three more. Well, after today, there's two more races before the season's over. But
and as a person who doesn't watch it, you'll have to fill me in on a little bit. Where was it, and who won?
it was in Bahrain. Um, but and Lewis Hamilton, of course, won again. But um, that's not what I wanted to talk about the race for. Um, it's quite. Although I hold our current media in very low regards, and that they never report on really anything outside of Orange Man Bad, but um, but maybe since they feel like that's um, sorry. I'm sorry, Joe. Technical difficulties, people. One moment. Are you still there, Joe?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, in this race, I've always said that like the first 30 seconds of an F1 race is probably like the most exciting 30 seconds of any sport ever, motorsport or anything else. It's just because you got 20 of the fastest cars on Earth, basically hauling ass when the green light turns off and they take off. You've got about 20 of the fastest cars on Earth hauling ass down this long straightaway to what's typically a pretty uh, narrow turn. All of them fighting for position, and there's usually going to be some cars spin out, some cars wreck, whatever. There's always something always happens. It seems like, but today, Roman, one of the racers, Roman Grosjean, uh, he spun out and flew into the barrier, one of the barriers, at about 115 miles an hour. They said, and it was like a Hollywood type explosion. I mean,
The little mushroom cloud and everything.
yeah, it was. I mean, I literally, as I watched it, I was like, whoever that was, I didn't know who it was at first, but I was like, whoever it was, there's a good chance that they're dead.
Call that wall Widowmaker.
They and however it happened, I think there had to have been some sort of a defect in the guardrail or something, but I don't know. But when it was all said and done, the back half of the car was on one side of the guardrail. The front half of the car with the driver was on the other side of the guardrail, in flames, engulfed in flames. And Roman was able to climb out of that fireball, and fortunately the safety car, because it happened so close to the beginning of the race, the safety car was like a few seconds away. So the safety car got there and helped him climb over the guardrail. But it was insane, because I mean, if he would have lost consciousness, he'd have just sat there and burned up in the car. They wear like 3 layers of flame retardant clothing,
Mm-hmm.
and gloves and boots and everything, which is no doubt what saved him. And also what saved him was they put these a couple years ago they instituted these. They're called halos, but I can't explain them, but you'd have to look at them on the car. But they're just like these, almost like a little roll bar that does that. It does what a roll bar does. It protects your head from, like, if you was to land upside down or something like that.
Being crushed.
Yeah, but it would have. But that halo probably saved him from being decapitated, because it was horrible.
It seemed like you could have some pretty grisly ways of dying in this sport. Holy crap!
Well, people used to die quite often in this sport, but that's what I'm saying. I brought it up because of how this is a testament to how safe, the safety that goes into these cars.
The last person I heard dying was Earl Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, I think so. That's NASCAR. That was
Yeah.
NASCAR.
Yeah, I remember watching the crash that proved to be fatal, and I actually thought he was going to get up and walk out of the walk away from it. I didn't think it was all that bad, but ever since then I'm like, oh crap, when these guys strap in, they may be like, I wonder if they have to, like, get their affairs in order before each race.
Well, they have. Yeah, I'm sure that there's no doubt about how dangerous the sport can be. But yeah. Anyway, it was interesting, and I thought that was worth mentioning. Just because I've always said that these cars, the technology that's developed, you can say what you want about. People can say what they want about racing.
It's funny because I was thinking, like, we've occasionally had this discussion about whether or not racing's a sport, and I think you've convinced me that it is a sport, but it wasn't.
I mean, people that have, why do you got to burn all this fossil? Why you got to burn all this fossil fuel and blah, blah, blah,
that never occurred to me.
But I would say that the technology that's developed in these cars today is what I've always said. It's not the first time I've said this, but the technology that's developed in these cars today, and not just performance and efficient wise, but safety wise, is what what ends up in our cars 10 years from now.
Yeah, I buy
And
that.
people may not know this, but I mean, an F1 race, they're hybrids now. They're hybrids.
Oh, really?
They
They're part
oh yeah,
electricity?
they're electric and uh, combustible.
Yeah.
They run entire races. These are 1,000 horsepower. These are engines that put out 1,000 horsepower, running
Yeah.
for I don't know 50. So this was approximately. I think this was 57 laps, and I think each lap was 3 miles. Stop and go, stop and go, and they do it all on one tank of gas. They don't refill.
That's nuts.
They run an
How
entire
many
races
miles
are
is
run
that?
on. Huh?
How many miles? You said how many?
I don't know what three. Let's just say if it was 50 laps and 3 miles a lap, that's what
150.
150 miles. Yeah,
All right, well, yeah,
but that's 150 miles of
1,000
you know
horsepower.
you're driving anywhere between 150 and 200 miles an hour for the entire time. Um, so that's a testament to just how efficient these engines, and I think that's the future. I know people think that we're going to move into this electric vehicle utopia. It ain't happening, people. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
think hybrids are. I think hybrids. I think hybrids are the future.
Is that the official word? Sorry, that's just not happening. Cancel it.
That's my official word. So take it for what you will. We've done a lot of talking, and we haven't even got into the meat of the show yet.
Holy smoke!
But that's okay. This is going to be kind of a
This is a
you
Thanksgiving show.
pretty much let me do all the show prep for this show, so uh, it's not going to be as thoughtful and impactful and hard hitting as a Joe High driven show might be.
Joe High, thoughtful, impactful, and hard hitting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you'll get everywhere with flattery with me. So yeah, I didn't say stop.
Well, we got some feedback from our uh, one of our number one fan. I don't know if that's true or not, but I pulled out some feedback that I thought we could hit on real quick. I call these quick hits. We'll just touch on them real quick. Um, Tell Brian that I watched Ford versus Ferrari. It is a good movie. Yes, I agree. It's a really good movie.
I'm sorry, I did not know. I didn't understand the reference there.
Oh, it was a movie, Ford versus Ferrari.
No, but like, did we say
First of
something
all,
about that show or that movie or?
well, I don't know. I don't think we talked. I reasoned that she mentioned it because she's gathered that I'm a race fan, and this is a racing movie. So I think that's probably why she decided to mention that. Because that was the only thing I could think of. I don't think we talked about anything directly related to this.
In the movie Ford versus Ferrari, who wins?
Ford wins,
Must have been an American made movie. Yeah.
but it's based on true events.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Is this like Ford versus Ferrari back in like the 30s or something like that?
Not 30s, but probably the I don't know 60s, 50s, 60s. I'm not sure what that's weird. I'm not sure what the time period is, but it's a great. I mean, the story is Ford wanted to get into motor racing, and they decided instead of starting from the ground up that they was going to go buy Ferrari and just kind of absorb their racing program. And Ferrari, in very not very nice terms, told him to pound sand. And,
Is that what they said? Pound sand?
And they said it in Italian, but I think that's what they said. And so it was offensive enough that Ford came home and was like, we're going to build our own car, and we are going to go back and we are going to beat them at Le Mans, however the French pronounce it. and so this is the story of them building their race, the Ford GT up, and yeah, they went back the next year, and they won. They won for first, second, and third of the 24-hour race. And I didn't know the movie point. I didn't know this, but the movie pointed out that they actually ended up losing it on a technicality because of the way the timings were run. But they went ahead and they dominated the next 2 years as well. So this is just a dramatic. I'm sure there's a lot of liberties taken, but um, Christian Bale, he's a great actor. He I enjoy everything that he does. He was kind of like the star of the movie, and Matt Damon, who played Carol Shelby, he was good. So yeah, it's a great movie. I love it. It's I can put it on and just watch it anytime.
I've never seen it, but it seems like every time that Christian Bale does a movie, he's got to do something like lose 50 pounds, gain 50 pounds, reconstructive surgery or something like that. I think he was based.
He definitely yeah he does. And if you was to look at the character, his name's escaping me now, that he portrayed. There is a resemblance. He done it. Yeah, he done a really good job at it. So anyway, moving on. Brian does watch TV. He occasionally talks about a TV show. This is true. In fact, I watch a lot of TV, but and since this is just between me and you and the listeners that we have here, I don't watch like live television. I still one of those people who will download my shows off of BitTorrent after the fact and watch them without commercials and
Yeah,
everything like that.
I thought everybody who uses BitTorrent was rounded up and carted off in jail like 3 or 4 years ago.
Well, the thing is that first of all, if you do it proper, if you take the right safeguards, you can get away with it. But I don't provide. The people that they typically go after are the people that provide the torrents, not the people that
Okay.
consume the torrents. So
So if you take
I fly under the radar, and I'd appreciate anyone listening to just kind of keep it to themselves. But that's how I watch my TV shows. Is usually the next day, a downloaded version of it.
hmm,
The police force is too militarized in general.
wait, no, wait. Did she disagree with you?
Yeah,
Oh my
but I
goodness.
think I think that this is such a this is one of those things that everyone has to agree with. I think really,
A cop.
unless you well, and a cop with a cop who doesn't have the protect and serve mentality, which maybe is the majority of them today. I don't know, but yeah, the police shouldn't look like the military. I agree. She
It,
agrees.
it's funny. I was listening. I think I was on like Facebook or YouTube or something like that. And they had this cop that was like, oh yeah, I retired 20 years ago from 35 years of police service, and like nowadays back then I was out there with a 6 shooter and a stick, and you look at these
Yeah,
cops now, they got like body armor and this. It's interesting listening to the guy talk about it. Like, hey, when you're a cop that's armed to the teeth, you're. I mean, yeah, when you have all
yeah.
these tools on you,
That's where you're going to get the best. You're going to get the best perspective from that person.
what the cop with the 6 shooter or the cop that's geared out?
No, the one who knows what it was like before.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it dawned on me like if you've heard the phrase that if the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yes.
And so, like, if you're a cop and you have all these tools at your disposal to physically incapacitate somebody, you probably might end up overusing that tool and under developing your what phrase am I looking for? De-escalatory skills, so to speak.
Mm.
Because like I mean, cops now they have the gun, they've got the pepper mace, they got a stick, they got a taser, they got a vest. Um, they got at least four actual weapons, and
Yep, no, I agree.
so I mean,
Um,
interesting.
mhm. Social media makes protests fast and easy to plan. That's true, but I also think that I think there's a I think that they're being organized from a higher, more centralized place. But
Like
that
God,
is uh, sure. But God makes a few targeted or posts on
tweets.
social media, and it's on. So yeah.
Hmm.
If you come to Annapolis, there is a cool cryptology museum next to NASA, and that is pretty cool. I didn't know that, but
Next time you're in the area, we can go. We can go see it.
yeah, you know, I need to head that way. It seems like whenever I go someplace, I always end up going south. But there is some cool stuff up in that area that I wouldn't mind checking out. So yeah, that would be cool to check out. The feminization of men and masculinizing of women is a way to equalize the genders, which is true. But I don't know if that's being said as though that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think that's being said as a good thing.
Okay. Dave Chappelle and Chris Tucker have both been married and have children. Yes, I think this was when I was talking about this. I wasn't implying and I think this stems from like me talking about how they Hollywood tries to force some successful or black successful black men in Hollywood to wear dresses. I wasn't talking about I wasn't really talking about sexuality in any way. It was more of this is this is like the way that they have to bend the knee to
Yeah,
the people who give them who let them be successful.
it's funny
That's
because
kind of what I meant.
it's funny because you we talked about that and it like I was listening to the show and I thought to myself, why did I not bring up Terry Crews?
Mm.
Did you hear about what happened to Terry Crews?
Yeah, he I heard he talked about being sexually,
Just being groped.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't know about you, but like you know Terry Crews does not look like the guy that you choose to walk up on and just be all hand.
Yeah, you would have to feel like you have really you got you have to like just really think that you've got that kind of power
Yeah,
to do it to a man like that.
yeah, like a masters on some masters of the universe type stuff.
Yeah, right. Um, so yeah, that's all that I was insinuating, or I wasn't insinuating. Dave Chappelle was insinuating it when he was talking to Oprah about it. But that's just you know
But I mean,
whoever.
that's a good thing to put the finger on. But yeah, I think I guess I bring up Terry Crews because wearing the dresses, being in front of camera in a dress, that might be the shallow end of the pool, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's a good point. Yeah, for sure. There
and
are no sports scholars.
sorry, I mean that makes me think to myself, man, like yeah, it seemed like it would be cool to be like a movie star and and X, Y, and Z, but you know you always hear people say, but are you willing to pay the price? And
I think a lot of stuff was with this Weinstein scandal. I think a lot was exposed in that not just his perversity, but um, just the way things in Hollywood work. And
Yeah, like all of them are exposed. Like I'm
yeah,
surprised that Hollywood hasn't been Me Too. Like all of it. Like let's just close the entire city down
right.
because it's one of those things where like it's. I mean, it almost sounds like a criminal conspiracy.
It's interesting why some go down and others have not yet. It's weird, or
And,
not weird, but it's interesting. Makes you something to think about.
yeah, I mean, to me, it's like like you see like that the starlet. Oh, she's this new starlet, and she's she's probably not like this is gonna sound terrible, but a good portion of Hollywood actresses, I can't even to me, there's nothing striking about them.
They're a dime a dozen,
Yeah.
right?
Very, very non-memorable. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
and
They're yeah.
and so I think to
I think we're
myself,
on the same page.
how do these people separate themselves from the literal millions of others
Mhm.
who would literally you know, stab you in the back and step over you to get that get that role. And yeah, it's yeah
I'm with you, man. Yeah,
yeah
yeah.
eh,
What's crazy? We know the answer.
yeah, well, yeah,
We-
I mean, but yeah, I guess we're we're being good people,
yeah.
and you're not drinking, so
Oh,
but it's one of those things like it if your little nephew or little niece says, "Hey, I want to be I want to be an actor, I want to be an actress," you'd be like, "Ooh, might want to slow your roll."
that would bother me. I mean, if it was ever like she's like I'm leaving. I'm moving to Los Angeles to become an actress. I would consider kidnapping her and locking her in a basement or something because that's just a horrible idea. Mm.
Nuts.
Yes. So next, there are no sports scholarships in Ivy League colleges, in case you didn't know, and I
I,
didn't know. I didn't know that.
I think that may have changed
Mm.
because
I don't
at
know.
my university at Colgate, when I was there, they did not have sports scholarships, but they do now.
Oh.
So
Um. Will you talk about Giuliani's hair dry drip? Yes, I will. That's. Did you see the picture of it?
what's the what?
Giuliani's hair dry or hair dye drip.
No, I did not hear that.
So like I think it might have been during his big press conference. It was obvious. Apparently, like the night before he got his hair dyed, and then during the press conference, it was very hot because he had like this black, just this black line, kind of just like going down the side of his face, and it almost looked like black ooze coming out of his head, which which is which was so great in that because I don't know if you're familiar with like the X Files, like the actual the core the mythos of the X Files, the alien conspiracy of the X Files, but um, the aliens in the X Files they have like black ooze is they have like black ooze in them, and that's what I was like. Yeah, the truth came out. Giuliani's he's one of like the reptilian aliens that part of the New World Order.
Quick question:
That
like
it was bizarre looking.
maybe 2 years ago, I was hearing about the whole like the reptilian. What was it? But then
Uh,
that all just stopped.
it comes and goes. It's funny. Um, yeah, I mean that's people that take the whole New World Order thing to ridiculous levels. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're all being run by an alien race, but I don't know. What's funny is I don't know where they obviously they're manipulations, but when they'll have like a video of like Hillary and then they're like, look real close here when she looks back, and she'll look back and have like these lizard eyes or something like that. And stuff is, it's funny.
And
Because see, it's proof that she's really a reptilian.
yeah, and that's the crazy thing. Like, so many conspiracy theories, they'll have they'll have a set of facts, and there'll be this one thing that kind of ties them all in. And if you look at it just from that point of view, it makes all the sense in the world. Of course, they're all reptilians, but then you're like, wait a second,
What bothers me really is that probably most conspiracy theories have some element of truth to them, but people start adding on all these obviously ridiculous things to them as well. So um, they end up getting just
you're like, yeah, I
you lose the good ideas,
but I'm not stupid. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, and then last but not least, please bring back one of the oldies from back in the days at the bar. So I went and I found them. I dug the files up out of the archives. I have 3 files. 2 of them are about 4.5 minutes apiece. And I haven't listened to them all. I haven't listened to them in their entirety yet, because I'll be quite honest, I hate the way that I sounded back then.
Really?
I'm not particularly thrilled with how I sound today, but I can remember this. I don't know what it was, but it happened. I had this realization when I was working at Ethicon. And I don't know why I had it, but something made me very self-conscious about my southern twang coming through, and using like supper, I used to use supper all the time, but I don't know. Something happened. Someone said something. Maybe.
Yeah, I think I was making fun of you.
Was you the one that?
No, I don't know.
But I remember I said supper, and somebody was like, "What the hell is supper?" or something like that. And I was like, "That's the last meal of the day. That's dinner. There's lunch and dinner."
Well,
supper?
No, yeah, I mean that sounds like something I may have been like. Yeah, supper is like a meal eaten after lunch but before dinner, like before 4 o'clock or something like that. But I don't think I would have made fun of you, like seriously.
I don't know what it was, but I became very aware of it, and so I have to varying degrees of success, but I've tried to speak more. I don't know what the word is, but
without a regional accent, so to speak.
Yeah. That's what I strive
for. Neutral
for.
tone.
Yeah, and whether I've been successful or not is up for debate. But listening to these clips or these recordings from back then, that was obviously before I had this self-realization, because I sound horrible. There's two like 4-minute clips, and from what I listen to, it sounds like it sounds like I'm talking to the waitress waiting for you to get there.
Oh crap!
And then the third clip is like just a 3 hours of just raw recording that, and the quality on none of them, the quality is very good. So,
wait, I remember one of the times we were talking. It was when that time when Dick Cheney shot that guy in the face.
Okay.
Uh,
It may be. It may be. That may be on this. This that may be on this file. Although I got to tell you, man, you'll laugh at this. I was. It was. You were there. You had showed up, I guess, and we were talking, and I was telling you about that one waitress who had like a bunch of these kids from a bunch of different baby daddies, and did we call her? Did we call her issues? I think we ended up calling her
it was either
issues.
issues or daddy issues.
Yeah,
Because that was
it was
the
daddy issues, but
yeah. Her father was like, oh yeah, my dad like a seal, blah blah blah, like crazy.
yeah,
Is that the
but we
one?
ended up. I think it was, yeah. But she had like all these kids, and I think from different people, but that's not. But that's people that not degrading her for that. She just mentally had
Issues.
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it was after one evening of conversating with her over her serving us drinks and peeled shrimp. We realized just how
like this chick is crazy.
messed up she was. Yeah. So I did hear us talking about that on one of the clips. But I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to like put it on in the background and do other things,
You should.
and when something interesting jumps out at me, I'll make note of it. I'll make a note of the timestamp, or I'll send them to you if you want to listen. If you
I
want to listen to them, I'll send them to you, and you can see what you think.
I'd be interested in doing that because I remember, and we can talk about this offline. One of the conversations we had, and you're like,
Okay.
that makes me sound like an a-hole. I'm like, well, like I didn't. Those are your words, man.
All right. I'll upload them to where you can get to them, and I'll let you listen to Hilljack Brian talk.
No. Hell, Jack. I mean, but like, yeah, I'm not very sure if we really want to, take those out because it'd be some pretty incriminating stuff on both of us.
Yeah, we will. We'll both have um, veto abilities on anything that gets played,
Oh,
and yeah, we'll selectively.
yeah, we're
We're going to
protecting the
select,
guilty. Cause
yeah, and the clips will be selectively chosen. So yeah,
yeah,
just the good stuff.
we'll call them curated. That's a better word than simple.
I like it. Um, okay, Joe. As of last, when I prepared these notes a few days ago, and as of then, I had not found any George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery stories to talk about. Everything had been things we'd already mentioned. So
Yeah, I found the same thing. Is that
okay,
it seemed like I think this time of year everything begins to slow down a little bit.
yeah.
Just for Christmas and like okay so that's kind of what I'm assuming is going on.
So so yeah, I went home for Thanksgiving, and um, while I did break any rules that I'm aware of, Ohio they'd instituted a 10 o'clock curfew, and governors, states all around all around the country are doing. They're just doing. The reaction to COVID is just. I don't know. I guess however you want to look at it, is either like really great and responsible, or it's an abuse of power, or and so I've got a handful of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's funny because one of the big things that Biden winning, he's like, hey, we're going. I mean, I I don't know. I don't think he ever pledged that he would do a nationwide shutdown or have like a nationwide mask mandate. But I think that would be a really 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 bad thing. And I think curfews because you don't want people out at 10 o'clock. It's pretty much like being, and I think I've said this before, um, being an adult that's been put on punishment or being grounded.
Yeah.
Right? When you have
I
you Big Brother literally saying don't go out of your house at night. Why? Because it's for your own good. That's literally what their answer is. Um,
right.
that leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And then the other piece is that if they were to institute a nationwide mask mandate, I mean this is gonna sound terrible, but I think that's going to end up affect. I mean it'll be selectively enforced against black people in a way that a lot of other folks won't experience, and I kind of anticipate that. And one of the reasons that I'm against a nationwide mass mandate is because I think it'll have that impact. That it'll be used as a way to target, So back in the days, oh, this black person was he was wearing his pants sagging, so he probably was a criminal. Now it'll be, well, he wasn't wearing a mask while walking outside, so we have every reason to go and harass and harass him. And I'm terrified about the possibility of them having a nationwide mask mandate.
I won't argue with you on that. Um, I have some clips here that I want to that just kind of touches on what we're talking about, and I think I want to get through these. Joan, the soundboard, she's been sitting here patiently waiting to play these clips, and her battery's been slowly draining. So, um,
Yeah, I thought it seemed like she wasn't. It seemed like she wasn't playing ball earlier.
yeah, she was giving me some problems a little bit. I had to give her the old attitude adjustment.
Let me guess, you plugged her up in the.
You're going to hear about that one.
Yeah. You set yourself up for that one, and you deserve.
Oh, you're going to name the soundboard after me, and then you're going to talk to it that way.
But remember,
Sorry.
it's Joan of Arc.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She's long gone.
Yeah. I think she's okay.
So, this is maybe the worst example. I don't know. This is I got some clips of Cuomo talking about well, here, yeah, we'll just start with this and then we'll discuss.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is criticizing law enforcement officials who refuse to enforce the state's latest COVID-19 restrictions, including the 10-person cap on private gatherings ahead of Thanksgiving. Watch this.
Well, I don't believe in that law, and therefore I won't enforce it. That is, frankly, frightening to me as an individual, frightening to democracy. It's arrogant, and it violates your constitutional duty.
So that was my first clip there. Any thoughts?
Sorry. It said like cops were refusing to enforce a 10-person limit on private gatherings.
I think that was one of his executive orders. I'm sure there was others, but yeah, he was responding to the statement that some police were saying that they weren't going to enforce it.
I mean, could you blame them?
Exactly. No.
He's like, hey, I'm a cop, and I've been sitting outside, and I think I've counted, 11 people walk in. Could you?
It's I know, man. it's scary. I mean, I say scary, but I mean, I'm using some
No, I mean, no, no,
hyperbole.
no. It is scary. I mean, when the government can say, "Yeah, you can have 10 people in your house, and if you have more, we can become involved." That is a pretty scary. I mean, you know, you having more than 10 people at your private home can give the state, the state can then take men and put men with guns in your home. That's that is scary is very appropriate there.
Sure. I'm not sure who this. I found this was like a long interview, and I just cut some stuff out of it. So I'm not sure who this is, but I believe he's going to comment on what Cuomo said.
What goes through your mind when you hear the governor say what he just said, that you don't have the right to not follow the restrictions?
It disturbs me because I think he doesn't understand the distinction between a law, which we learned when we were young, that a legislature passes a bill, it goes to a governor or president, and they either sign it or veto it, and an executive order. The legislature in New York abdicated the role by giving full authority to the governor. These are executive orders. That's why he can issue an executive order to a bar, a restaurant, or a gym, because they all have licenses under the state liquor authority or the health department. And so therefore, he's got control under the authority of his departments, and they can limit hours, they can limit masks, they can limit distancing and seats in the restaurant, and they can fine them. But an executive order aimed at an individual in their home, everyone just gets that sense without even me having to cite the law that something's wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm glad he stated that. I'm guessing that's the correct answer. I had wondered I was wondering what the difference between an executive order and a law is, and
Well, I mean,
what
there are several differences. But finish your question.
Well, I was just, I was wondering. Well, I mean, just based on what he said, an executive order, according to him, it only has teeth when it's applied to institutions that have to get
Require a license.
right, or somehow governed by the state in some way.
Well, I mean, I guess the prohibition against driving after being on the street after 10 o'clock. If you're in an automobile, presumably, I mean, you get a license for that, and so I guess that would be the basis for for them to deny you access to the highways and byways. No, but I mean, it's one of those things where if they can put that type of limit on what you can do on your own personal property, there's probably not much else they can't do. If that makes sense.
That's a really good point. I have one more here.
Actually, that actually it seemed like it may also conflict with one of the Bill of Rights, the right to assembly.
Yeah.
So that's just
What do we have? I'm not sure what this one is. I can't read what it is.
Now, interesting on your lead-in, in Oregon, it was 6 people at your home. In New York, it's 10.
Yeah.
So does that mean that the COVID is more dangerous in Oregon and less dangerous in New York? It means they're picking arbitrary numbers. So that's one reason it would not survive constitutional muster.
Okay, yeah.
Who is that?
I'm not sure who it was.
It sounded like Danny DeVito.
I don't think it was him.
I didn't know he was a scholar.
And I did, and I'm not going to. There are tons of clips out there that people take of our possible next president, Biden, just really screwing up the English language. I'm not. Those are easy cheap shots that I'm not gonna delve into those.
Good man.
So, and I will,
Eric,
Chad,
thank
and
you.
I'll try to, and I'm going to try to um, show him as much respect as I can. And anyway, this is him talking about what his administration plans that they have for, I think, COVID going should he get into office.
Transparent so the American people can have every confidence that any approved vaccine is safe and effective. At the same time, it's clear that this vaccine, even if approved, will not be widely available for many months yet to come. The challenge before us right now is still immense and growing. And although we are not in office yet, I'm just laying out what we expect to do and hope can be done, some of it between now and the time we are sworn in. But so the purpose of this is to let you know what we're going to do once sworn in. And so there's a need for bold action to fight this pandemic.
What?
We're still facing a very dark winter. There are now nearly 10 million COVID cases in the United States. Last week, we topped 100.
I didn't like it, but I got a feeling that we're going to hear a lot more of this term. Did you catch when he said that it's going to be a dark winter?
Yeah, I've heard that. I heard him say that in one of the presidential debates.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a powerful. To me, that seems like a powerful phrase.
It is. I mean, dark.
What's that mean, man?
Yeah. Well, if I recall correctly, Dark Winter was the code name for. I think it was a code name for a pandemic tabletop.
Oh, good Lord!
No, I'm serious.
It's a great. I mean, I guess for something like that, it is a great name. It sounds like it's a great name for like a horror movie, you know.
Let's see here.
It probably is. It probably is one.
Well, here it is. Operation Dark Winter. Dark Winter was the code name for a senior level bioterroristic attack simulation conducted on June 22nd to June 23rd, 2001. What are you saying? Wasn't that the year 9/11 occurred? 2001. They were busy. It was designed to carry out a mock version of a covert and widespread smallpox attack on the United States. So that's a pretty scary name. Dark Winter.
Yeah.
20,000 new cases on multiple successive days. Infection rates are going up, hospitalizations are going up, deaths are going up. This crisis claims nearly 1,000 American lives a day, nearly 240,000 deaths so far. The projections still indicate we can lose 200,000 more lives in the coming months before a vaccine can be made widely available. So we can't forego the important work that needs to be done between now and then to get our country through the worst wave yet in this pandemic, to reduce the spread, to save lives. So that's why today I've named the COVID-19 Transition Advisory Board, comprised of distinguished public health experts, to help our transition team translate the Biden-Harris COVID-19 plan into action, a blueprint that we can put in place as soon as Kamala and I are sworn in to office on January 20th, 2021. And we'll seek to add other members to this board during this bring additional important perspectives on public health and expertise throughout the transition. This group will advise on detailed plans built on a bedrock of science and to keep compassion, empathy, and care for every American at its core, making rapid testing widely available, more widely available, much more widely available, and building a core of contact tracers who will track and curb this disease while we prioritize getting vaccines first to the most at-risk populations.
Yeah, so these contact tracers, I think they're like people whose responsibility it is to identify where there are outbreaks of or positive tests of the COVID, and then identifying who those people come in contact with, and I'm not sure how all that's supposed to work, but um, I got a feeling that that's also going to end up being an overreach of powers. But I could be I could be entirely wrong on that. I'm not sure.
My understanding is that contract tracing comes in two forms, or several forms, but what they end up doing is pretty much I don't want to say tapping your phone, but they use they use your phone data to see where you were, and let's say you're around a bunch of people, and one of those people
Mm-hmm.
comes up positive. There's I guess there's a way that they can say, okay, who has this person's phone been in contact with, as in proximity wise.
I wonder if that's going to require the people to like install an app or something like that, or if they
Well,
can work around that.
my understanding is that um, like, I think Canada they've got an app that they're trying to get people to install, but you can probably imagine what the average person is saying to that, right?
Hmm.
And so, but they can do it without your permission at all. Basically, just by the very workings of your cell phone's GPS is all they
Right.
really need. And so, like once they if you and I we work together and our cell phone signals are we spend 8 hours in the office 10 feet away.
Hmm.
That's going to be something that's picked up by the cell phone's GPSs. And so if I were to come up sick and they were to be like, okay, well, who you been in contact with, they could probably just run your phone or just run the data and see what.
Yeah, this would be a great application for big data, machine learning, for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There's that show idea again.
um, let's see here. I got another Biden clip. Let's see what this one is.
Developing clear and detailed guidance, providing the necessary resources for small businesses, schools, child care centers to reopen and operate safely and effectively during the pandemic, protecting both workers and the public. Scaling up productive life-saving treatments and therapeutics, and when it's ready, making sure an approved vaccine is distributed equitably and efficiently and free for every American.
Did he say free?
Rising once more, it's imperative.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I think they're going to go back on that.
Yeah, someone's paying for it.
Yeah.
That we ramp up our production of personal protective equipment to make sure our brave healthcare workers have what they need to do battle safely against this virus. We're going to get states, cities, and tribes the tests and the supplies they need. We're going to protect.
I thought including tribes in that was a nice touch.
Yeah. People usually don't think to include
Nope.
tribes.
Nope.
Vulnerable populations who are at risk, most at risk from this virus, older Americans, and those with pre-existing conditions. We're going to address the health and economic disparities that mean this virus is hitting Black, Latino, Asian American, Pacific Islanders, Native American communities harder than white communities. Focusing on these communities is one of our priorities, not an afterthought. The bottom line, I will spare no effort to turn this pandemic around once we're sworn in on January 20th. To get our kids back to school safely, our businesses growing, and our economy running at full speed again. And to get an approved vaccine manufactured and distributed as quickly as possible to as many Americans as possible, free of charge. We'll follow the science. We'll follow the science. Let me say that again. And we'll adjust to new data when it comes in. And we'll listen and work in cooperation with governors and local leaders of both parties who are fighting this virus in their communities this very day.
Hmm.
Well, he has a plan. So,
Hey, you got to respect a man with a plan.
yep, we'll see. We all know, I mean, we'll see how it get executed. Everyone has a plan. Like Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get hit in the face. So no, I don't know if that's a fair comparison or not. But yeah, we'll I want to see this be put behind us as quick as possible, man. So
It's one of those things where, even though I don't like Joe Biden, and I could not bring myself to vote for Joe Biden, now that it looks as if he's going to be the president, you certainly, every American should want the president to succeed on certain things. If that makes sense.
right.
And this is one of those things that are, all hands on deck. You want the president to succeed in shutting this down, no matter if it was, Trump or if it's Joe Biden. This is one of those things. Yeah.
Can I'm not going to. I think I tried to bring this up over Thanksgiving with my brother, and even apparently I go back to this too often that people are just tired of hearing it. So this is going to be the last time that I subject anyone to this. But I just want to, again, I called it, and this is in the show notes. You can see my math. I'm just calling it COVID by the numbers, and I just want world. I have the world population is roughly 7.6 billion people. The U.S. population, I think, as of 3 years ago, was roughly 328 million.
Yeah, that's usually, typically I think it was 330 million.
Yeah.
Small change.
So, just talking about COVID-19 worldwide on a global scale, there were 60 million cases. Now those are cases, not deaths. Those are just cases, which equals out to, on a global scale, 0.0079. 1/700th of a percent. Huh?
That's 0.00079. I thought you said only 2 zeros.
No, that's what my calculation here has. I copied and pasted it. It should be right. 0.007.
Well, that's worldwide cases. I'm looking at.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I got it twisted.
I see the one you're looking at. Yeah, that was the worldwide cases. The deaths, there have been globally speaking, 1,420,000 deaths globally. And that comes out to 0.00018. That is 1/1000th of a percent deaths globally.
Mm-hmm.
The United States, there have been 12,800,000 cases, which comes out to 0.039%.
Well, that's pretty high. Almost 4% of the population.
No, it was 0.039. That's less than a percent. That's 0.3%.
Okay, I'm typically thinking of.
These are, all of these are less than a percent.
So 0.4%, pretty much.
Yeah, right. And then when you look at the deaths, there have been 261,000 deaths, which comes out to 0.0007%, or 7/1000ths of a percent, I believe.
Now, quick question. If you were to look at these numbers, look at the deaths, and find out that, like, let's say 80% of the people who were dying were older, would that Will that change anything for you? Will that make it more?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, first of all, we know that not all of these deaths that are all the deaths that are recorded. We know that they are not deaths related directly to COVID. There's typically some other, what do they call it, underlying condition.
Like a comorbidity?
Yeah, comorbidity. And so I don't even know that I trust the numbers that I'm seeing here. But yeah, it's and I have a clip here later on that talks about the age groups. But I wanted to once again, and I'm not going to do this anymore because I'm not. There's nothing. I'm not a genius or anything. It's not like I had this revelation of, hey, look at how small people either know these numbers and don't care, or there's, I don't know, maybe they have some other reason. But as far as a pandemic goes, it's no bubonic plague.
Well, it's no bubonic plague, but 261,000 people less in the country. It's still not a small thing.
And I'm not implying that it is. And
Yeah,
for the people that are affected by it.
But I think it's also like, I mean, typically we have 40,000 gun deaths a year.
I don't know. Yeah, we have. Yeah, I mean, people die from various ways every year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking at car accidents per year. Sorry, that's car accidents. I meant car deaths. Car accident deaths.
While you're doing that, I don't know who this person is. Suspicious_mind. I guess this is a Twitter post, but they posted this on Twitter. Why did China recover without a vaccine? And why doesn't anybody talk about it?
Well, that's because nobody trusts China. Nobody,
Fair enough. I don't trust China.
Here it is. More than 38,000 people die every year in crashes on U.S. roadways. So
it's like we know the risks and we decide to take those risks for the benefit of getting from one place to another quickly.
No, I think it's a little bit different here, because when this whole thing started, I don't think we did know the risk. So there was this new novel disease coming out of China, and nobody knew what it was, but we did have relatively recent experience with a huge pandemic back in, well, not recent, back in 1819, and so of course people think, people's mind rushes to the very worst possible scenario, and COVID isn't that worst possible scenario. It's it seemed like it's maybe we should look up how many people die from flu each year. One moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand your consternation with regard to the relatively small percentage of people who have died, but it's I think if you look at other causes of death in America, you would see that it's quite large. Number of people dead, heart attacks. Each year. Let's see here. 1.5 million. How many people are dead again? 261. So about a fraction of people of whom would have died from a heart attack. So 261,000 from COVID, and was that 1.6 million people from heart attacks. 1.5 million people from heart attacks, and 38,000 people die per year of car accidents. Here's a better question: leading cause of death in America. Leading USA. Probably being fat. Let's see here. Leading cause of death. Wait, heart disease. 665. Sorry, 655,381 for that. Heart attack, cancer, 599,274 deaths for that. Accidents, unintentional injuries, 160. So, I mean, if you look at the 12 leading causes of death, COVID is third. So, yeah. So it's not like huge. It's not like, millions of souls being extinguished at one time, but it's still top 3 of traditional ways people die.
Well, like I said, you won't hear me complain about that again.
Fair enough. But Joan here is getting kind of low, and I've got some more clips that I want to tear through. So let me rip through these real quick, and then we're going to warp speed.
Yeah, and then we're coming up on 2 hours already.
Holy smoke!
Yeah. Anyway, this is these next 2 clips are these are pretty bad. These are I don't know how to explain. Maybe someone can explain what leads to kids, our children, being brought up and into, I don't know. We've discussed before about the feminization of men and men's crying all the time about things, not to be derogatory about anything necessarily, but I don't know. This is a person. I don't know who he is. I couldn't find the original clip, so I had to pull this directly out of the No Agenda show. So you'll hear Adam Curry in the background occasionally laughing or something. But this is a good little millennial who's followed all the rules. He wears the mask. He does everything, and he got tested, and he found out that he tested positive, and so here we go.
I feel embarrassed. I feel angry. I got tested today because I was going to film with somebody who I hope will still want to film with me in the future. And so because of that, anybody I see, I make sure we get tested. The very few people I do see and have seen. The reason I got tested was because I was going to film a video with somebody today it's like the only video I've been looking forward to filming in the last 4 months, I feel. And I was super excited, and because we were filming together and we both quarantined, I asked that we both get tested, and because it was for a video, I filmed it. I have literal footage of me getting tested positive twice with corona.
Yeah, and here is him, I think, getting the results and his reactions.
This is literally
Oh man,
so unfair. I'm getting another test just to make sure because false positives are a thing.
oh yeah.
This is so unfair. This is so unfair. So I took another test and it came back positive.
He's unconsolable.
I'm so upset, as we can fucking see. It just doesn't feel fair at all. I feel literally fine. He checked for a fever. I don't have a fever. I'm just angry and I feel embarrassed and stupid and angry.
I'm just so angry. This doesn't feel fair. I don't go anywhere. I don't see anyone without getting tested first and them getting tested.
What kind of child abuse did this poor kid go through that he reacts this way to something? I almost want to think that it's faked, but I'm pretty sure that it's not.
To me, it was hard not to laugh.
I know it's ridiculous, but
if you ever hung out with your great grandfather or something like that, and it's just it's just we are the great grandfather now.
Yeah,
we're listening to to the youngins crying over getting coming positive for COVID and just laughing at it. It's like, you know what? I mean, you're a young guy. Chances favor you're not going to die.
Yeah. Like I said, there's got to be. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We're not going to figure it out, I guess. But let me have two more clips I want to knock out, and these clips pretty much, I think, kind of sum up my feelings on it. They're from this guy I think his name's Tom McClintock. I think he's a House representative, I think from California. Maybe not. He's talking about Gavin Newsom, but I don't know where he's
the
from.
current governor of California, correct?
Yeah, he's the current governor of California. But we'll get through these here. Move on.
This is
Oops, wrong one.
Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning in defense of Governor Gavin Newsom, who recently defied his own idiotic COVID edicts as he partied at one of the few restaurants that's not yet been forced out of business. I defend him because he was doing what we once all did in a free society, make our own decisions over what risks we're willing to run and what precautions we're willing to take according to our own circumstances to protect our own health. Yes, COVID is a nasty bug, and 250,000 Americans have died while having it. But this isn't the bubonic plague. The CDC's best estimate is that if you're under 49, your chance for surviving COVID, if you get it, is 99.92%. Even if you're over 70, you have a 94.6% rate of recovery. 40% who get it don't even know they have it. And yet we've allowed our officials to ruin our quality of life over it, destroying countless businesses, throwing tens of millions into unemployment, robbing our children of their educations, and shredding our most cherished rights as Americans. Governor Newsom's night of partying should be a wake-up call for every American. Every time we step outside our homes, the risks that we face multiply. A free society assumes that its citizens are competent to assess those risks, balance them against the avoidance costs, and to manage their decisions in a generally responsible way. It's called common sense.
And finally, to wrap up here.
And that a fool with power can quickly become a petty tyrant. Which brings us back to Governor Newsom. These government nannies love to tell us that they're just following the science. Well, what does the science actually tell us? It tells us that COVID poses virtually no risk to children, but can be severe among the elderly. So what did these lockdown leftists do? They closed all the schools and ordered infected patients into nursing homes. The science tells us.
I know why he used the term lockdown leftist. It rolls off the tongue good, but he's a Republican and he's attacking. But this power hungry whatever runs through all the parties. I mean, Ohio has a supposedly Republican governor, and
who's the governor there? Mark DeWine.
Is it DeWine?
Yeah, he was Attorney General, I think, when I was there.
So, I understand why he's using the term lockdown leftist. I wish he wouldn't use it because it turns he's made these good points he's making to kind of sound partisan, but try to forgive him for that.
that outdoor transmissions of the virus are extremely rare and that 80% of infections occur in people's homes. So what did these lockdown leftists do? They closed our beaches, parks, and campgrounds and ordered people to stay at home. The science tells us that obesity is a contributing factor to the severity of the disease. So what did these lockdown leftists do? They closed all the gyms and kept the liquor stores open.
Yeah.
These lockdowns haven't saved lives. The states with the most stringent lockdowns generally have the highest mortality rates from COVID. Utah stayed open while next door Colorado shut down. Utah currently has half the COVID mortality rate and 3/4 the unemployment rate as Colorado. But the lockdowns have cost countless lives, from suicides, drug and alcohol abuse, domestic violence, and deferred health screenings and treatments. Recently, Governor Newsom demanded that restaurant diners replace their masks after every bite, but also minimize the times they're taken off. I guess that means you take really big bites. Thanksgiving dinners are allowed in California, but only when they're held outside. Guests are seated 6 feet apart, and they last no more than 2 hours. Now, it's all right to use the bathroom, but only if it's frequently sanitized. Otherwise, presumably, you'll just have to use the bushes. And for God's sake, no singing.
So there you go.
Well.
All right, Joan, you can take a break now. You were saying?
No, thing is, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we probably did the best thing we could. And as we're finding out, new things about this virus, we probably should adjust how we respond. Do you think they're gonna? Do you think they're gonna do a lockdown again?
You know what? I have a feeling that I think that they will. I hope that I'm wrong, but I feel like that they will. What do you think?
I'm hopeful that they won't, but I think it's going to be one of those things where if there's if the numbers if the case counts keep on going up, they're going to feel once again like they have to do something, and they're probably going to reach for the most blunt and obvious tool they can reach for, and that probably will be the lockdowns. I don't think we'll see a nationwide lockdown, because that would just be foolish.
Right.
But I think they're probably going to start seeing like states lockdown. They may even start it may not even be like entire states. Probably will be like counties, because like if you're in a county, you pretty much unless you're living on the border of a county, you pretty much, when they shut you down, you're shut down. There's no need to shut down the entire state.
Yeah.
What they'll probably end up doing is shutting down counties, with high concentrations of people, and leave the less concentrated areas unaffected by lockdowns.
All right, Joe. Well, I think it's about time for us to wrap this one up.
Not yet.
Not yet.
A favorite part of the show hasn't happened yet.
True. And that would be This Week in Skullduggery. That's a poor man sound effect right there.
We might have to go out and have that professionally done now.
I typically, we made this section of the show for really dumb, Florida man type stories, but this here was just this is so odorous to me that I felt like, and again, it's got to do with police and this overreach of those who would rule us in general.
So it could have been propaganda.
Ye- yeah, in a way, yeah. Mississippi cops can now use your Ring doorbell camera to live stream your neighborhood. The Jackson, Mississippi Police Department is piloting a 45-day program that allows them to live stream private security cameras, including Amazon Ring cameras, at the residence of its citizens. It's no surprise that Amazon Ring's cameras were the only brand named for the pilot program, as EFF pointed out. That's the Electronic Freedom Foundation, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Since they have over 1,000 partnerships with local police departments. The program allows Ring owners to patch their camera streams to a real-time crime center, i.e. a dispatcher on desk duty, whose new favorite way of passing the time is to watch you bring out your garbage twice a week in a bathrobe. While the pilot program is supposedly opt-in only, meaning residents have to volunteer to be part of it, it is an obvious step in the wrong direction of mass privacy invasion without a warrant. The worst part is that even if you don't participate and a neighbor's cameras are pointed off-center, perhaps towards a portion of your property, that footage can now be reviewed and combed through by law enforcement officials. Police have used Ring cameras to build comprehensive CCTV camera networks, blanketing whole neighborhoods, EFF notes, reducing the hardware burden on the department and slipping their presence into a neighborhood where it may otherwise not be welcomed. Amazon published a statement distancing themselves from the program. Amazon and Ring are not involved in any way with any of the companies or the city in connection with the pilot program. The companies, the police, and city that were discussed in the article do not have access to Ring systems or the Neighbors app. Ring customers have control and ownership of their devices and video and can choose to allow access as they wish. So,
Until you're hacked.
Right. I used to, and they touched on it here, but I used to, I would like point at the CCTV coverage that's in like London as just being a sign of how, that's like a police state almost, when the number of CCTVs that, you can't do anything as I understand it. Of course, I've never been there, but as I understand it, you can't do anything in London without being on a camera somewhere.
Well,
This is a good example of we're not only are we doing it to ourselves, but we're even funding it. So,
what's nuts is that your expectation of privacy outside of the four walls of your home is very narrow. So that's probably.
I'll do a confession. When I first moved into this my condo here, I had 3 Amazon Echo devices. I had an alarm clock. I had a portable speaker, and like a little smaller speaker for. I used it in the restroom to listen to stuff while I'm showering and whatnot.
Hey.
And I've thrown them out. I've gotten rid of them.
Why?
That's because they're I can't control them. They dial home to Amazon, and Amazon can tell me whatever they want. But you know how I am. When it comes to technology, I've made it difficult for us to even do this podcast because of my insistence on not relying on, these other companies for stuff. And
like, hey Brian, let's do a podcast. Yes, but we have to make it as hard on ourselves as possible.
That's me. That sounds like me. But if I can't, but unless I can have a camera that is on my network and I know that it goes to my server and nowhere else, and I'm the only one who has control of it, I'm not gonna get one of these Ring cameras. And likewise with the Amazon Echoes and stuff. Yeah, I guess it's kind of cool or convenient to say, "Hey Amazon, what time is it?" or "Hey Amazon, play this," but you know that's letting this other company that may or may not have my best interests in mind into my home, and not only that, but I paid them to do it.
Yeah, I think
So
the big surprise in that last statement was that you were ambivalent about when he said they may or may not have your best interest.
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Amazon does not have your best interest in mind. I
yeah.
think you're getting soft on us, Mr. Newman.
Well, here's the thing. The one thing that I will give, the one reason that I might, and I'm not, but if I were to give Amazon a pass, or at least not a pass, but I would be easier in my scrutiny, is that I know that I'm their customer, and I know that they make a lot of money off of me from the things that I buy throughout the year. I'm an Amazon Prime subscriber. I buy, just about everything except for groceries. I buy just about everything from Amazon. So it is in their interest to not screw me over because I'm a loyal, profitable, I'm sure they make a lot of money off of me customer. While other companies like a Twitter or a Facebook or whatever, their only way of making money is to sell my information to ad companies and things like that. So at least with Amazon, I know that I realize that I'm their customer, and I realize, you know, what our relationship is, and it is a consumer type of relationship. But with these other services and systems, man, like I don't know who said it, but it's like if it's free, if what you're getting is free, then you are the product.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah. So, yeah, and again, and that's the thing. I can to do these things myself. There are possible, things are possible, but it's just it's difficult, and not your average person who don't really care that much isn't going to take the time to learn to do things that way. Nobody wants to run their own servers and manage all that stuff when you can just plug it in, type in a code, and bam, you're off and running.
Boom.
And look, you can see your neighbors, and you can watch the UPS man deliver your packages or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm surprised we haven't started seeing more like stories of people of perverts finding uses for those things.
Just wait, yeah. I mean, I've heard of well, and this is another, and this is even more skullduggerous. Is apparently there are baby cameras and toys and children toys that connect to your network and dial home to some server somewhere to either update content or to do whatever, and those have been hacked and used to watch what's going on in people's homes. That has been done. So
well, that gives me a nice warm and fuzzy.
You're pretty accurate in that statement. So yeah, it's this internet is a wonderful one, probably one of the greatest inventions definitely of our lifetime, but it has its drawbacks, that's for sure. And the idea of connected networks and connected computers is powerful, and it definitely can be abused.
You know how they say that everything that has some good has some bad into it. So, for example, we can connect everything to the internet. The bad thing is, you can connect everything to the internet.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Like everything, all the things. Yeah.
Well, I suppose we should probably get off of here now and let all of our listeners rush out and yank and start ripping their Ring doorbells off their houses and whatnot and
Yeah,
throwing them in the trash.
yeah, but they should
I'm
do
sure
that
that'll
after
happen.
subscribing to the show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Subscribe first. Just click the button. It won't. We won't spy on you or anything like that. We won't sell your information. YouTube might. I don't know about that, but we won't.
Yeah,
That did that.
Brian and Joe won't. We
Yeah. No, smash like, subscribe. You know the routine, people. I'm getting tired of telling you. Now do it.
do it.
Do it.
I think they did.
All right. So for those of you still listening, thank you. It is. We do appreciate it. It'd be kind of depressing to think that we just talk to each other for 2 hours and then under the assumption that someone's going to get some enjoyment out of it, and no one does. So, yeah.
There's no
I
evidence.
guess it's kind of it's cathartic for us, I suppose.
Oh, there's no evidence that no one's getting any enjoyment out of it.
That's right, and I like it that way.
There you
go. So please join us right here in 7 days. Where? What will we do, Joe?
Well, not in 7 days.
Oh, look at that! We get off schedule, and it just throws everything off. I guess we need to start over so I can get this right. No. Join us in a few days. Friday, we'll be doing this all over again. How's that?
That's what's up.
Can I mess this ending up anymore?
If you really want to.
Joe, as always, it's been a pleasure. We'll chat later. Take care.
You as well. Bye-bye.